If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your morning blitz begins now.
Have a great Friday, you mother...
Yeah, we're gonna. As long as we can stay dry and not get flooded out. If you're building your ark, I would understand completely because we've got nothing but rain for the next few days. I went for my walk that I do right down here at along the Scioto River right there.
Yeah.
There's a little pull-in where the Frisbee golf is.
Yeah.
And so I did my 6-mile walk, and that water level is already high. That water was already just pouring over that little dam there at a high rate of speed. So
Kelly, he called to try to get a tea time yesterday.
Yeah.
They said, is it too wet? And they told him, we're underwater.
Yeah. They said, no, course is closed today. We're underwater.
It is underwater.
Oh.
Did you say, I think I can do it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. New sport, like the paddleboard golf.
Like water polo? Water golf?
Like water golf, yeah, exactly. Just get the little floaty balls and start throwing them.
Little kayak?
Yep, be perfect.
I did get a few hours of fishing yesterday, though.
Oh, you did go out?
But let me tell you something. So I don't usually get to do that during the week. It's rare that I do. And I went up to Alum, so I'm coming home yesterday afternoon. And, you know, the three of us rarely drive in rush hour traffic. Ever.
Right.
Ever. So I'm listening to Kelly doing traffic reports. Obviously, you can't drive ever during rush hour traffic. Right. You're always doing, because you're always doing traffic. It is insane.
Yeah.
I'm coming from 23 on the north side around 270 to the Hilliard exit, and that trip, I mean, you cannot take your eyes off the road or you might die. People are crazy driving. It's slow down, speed up all the time, and I'm pulling a boat. I mean, I'm just not used to it anymore.
It's a thing.
It is a pain in the ass. Yeah. I'm like, damn.
It is good to get in touch with that, though, every now and again, isn't it?
No, it's not necessary.
I think it is, to be able to express to people just some sympathy on, we're working during morning drive time, but we sympathize with you because Thick Rick was boned in rush hour traffic yesterday.
It was downright scary.
And I haven't spent a ton of times on the roads here, especially on the highways and things, but I do know in Detroit, we've got a couple highways where if you're not going 85, you're getting rear-ended. That's all there is to it. And then to be, zoomed by while you're going 85 is like, what is going on?
Yep.
And the way people fly across lanes, it's insane.
Absolutely. Yes, it is a Friday, and it's going to be a good one, so let's get to it. Let's start with our Blitz Morning Trivia. Thick, what you got for us today?
Let's see if we can get somebody $25 to go spend at Water Beds and Stuff and Beds and Stuff Superstores. Brad Pitt will be starring in a sequel to one of his movies. Just found this out. What movie is it? Brad Pitt will be doing a sequel to this movie. Be the first one to tell us what the movie is at 99-700. We'll give you the gift card.
Let's get that answer for Blitz Morning Trivia, Thick.
All right, the question was, Brad Pitt will be starring in a sequel to one of his movies. What is the movie? And it is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino doesn't do sequels.
I know. In fact, he was working on something else called The Movie Critic, and then when this came up, he dropped that and jumped right into this. Brad Pitt back as stuntman Cliff Booth. And the thing about this one is it will be directed by David Fincher, who did Seven and Fight Club with Brad Pitt.
Oh. That's weird.
Right?
I didn't think Quentin Tarantino would give up his intellectual property. Because he said for a long time he was only going to do 10 movies, and The Movie Critic was supposed to be Quentin Tarantino's 10th and final movie. And then he was going to be done directing, he was going to be done with movies.
Yeah, but he's writing the screenplay. And Fincher will direct, and they do not expect Leonardo DiCaprio or Margot Robbie to return for this one.
Okay.
Now I know this movie, man. It was a huge movie. I thought it was a good movie, but I didn't think it was as good as all the hype that it got.
I agree. I don't think it was Quentin Tarantino's best.
No. And I'm a Tarantino fan.
Absolutely, 100%.
Did you see it, Kelly?
No.
Oh.
No desire?
I'm not a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. It's too bloody for me. All his movies are too violent. And it just makes me sick to my stomach, and I don't like to spend 2 hours sick to my stomach.
Okay.
Like Pulp Fiction, great movie. I'm not saying it wasn't. I felt sick the whole time. I'm like, this doesn't really fit. I'm more of a comedy person. Let me laugh for 2 hours.
So you haven't seen The Hateful Eight?
No.
Oh, you should watch The Hateful Eight.
Is that going to make me sick the whole time? Yeah. No thanks.
Very, very. I wonder if that might be his bloodiest. The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, you should sit down and watch that one.
Okay, all right.
Mike Antolin from Columbus was the first one to text in the correct answer. He's got $25 to waterbeds and stuff.
And forget 2 hours, because this one's about 2:45.
2:45 of sickness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kelly doesn't like a long movie or anything gross. That's probably the worst movie she could have.
That's right. A combination of my two worst features in a movie.
A little bit of a slow burn, but you like a slow burn.
I like a slow burn. Like I love About Schmidt. There's nothing in that movie About Schmidt that is gross. It's just a good story that's told in a very slow fashion, and I enjoy it.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a WWKD here. What would Kelly do?
Oh.
Because one of Nora's, it's obviously not a red flag, but Nora could say no a little bit more. She doesn't say no to a lot of people because she's just kind-hearted and wants to help. And so yesterday for lunch, right around the block from the doctor's office she works at, is a great little diner restaurant, and all Nora wanted was some soup. And they've got some really good chicken lemon rice soup there, or something that she loves. So she's getting ready to go to lunch. She says, hey, I'm going to Charlie's to pick up some chicken rice soup. Does anybody want anything? And her coworker goes, oh, yeah, that sounds great. I'll take one. Nora said, no problem. The coworker reaches and grabs her purse. The soup is like $4.95.
Okay.
Coworker reaches in her soup and pulls out a Ziploc baggie full of nickels and just starts counting out nickels. No. Just two at a time. 10, 20, 30.
I'd be like, I'll buy your soup.
Okay, so that's my question. Because Nora texts me, and she's just standing there looking at this lady, waiting for her to count on all the nickels. And I was like, at that point, I'll be like, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious as to...
Oh, I would never take nickels. And not because I don't like nickels, it's because it feels embarrassing. Like, it's fine, it's okay if you don't have, like, money.
That's 99 nickels.
There's a lot of nickels.
Yeah, just keep your nickels because it seems like you might need them.
Right.
And I can pay for $4 cup of soup. No big deal at all.
And I've been in the position where I've pulled up to the gas station.
Oh, gosh,
and
who
I'll
hasn't?
be like, I'm going to take $1.74 in gas, please, because I need to make it around the block to get home.
Yeah, we all know what the situation is when you have a bag of nickels. We've all been there.
We've all been in the bag of nickel position before.
Yes.
But at that point, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'll pick up your soup for you.
No big.
And my other question, though, is who's carrying around a bag of nickels? Because the $1.74 in gas comes out of the little change holder in the car.
Right.
It's not like I have the $1.74 in my pocket. It's probably because I left something at home, or those are the last nickels and dimes I have. So I'm just wondering who's carrying around a big old bag of nickels. And isn't that heavy?
Yeah. Real heavy.
I don't want that strapped on my shoulder.
I'd definitely go to the bank and exchange it for quarters.
Right, or hit up the Coinstar at least.
Yes, except you do have to pay. But still, you could get it exchanged at...
Coinstar costs money?
Yeah. Don't you pay like a small percentage of
I don't
whatever
know.
Yeah, I think
at
so.
Coinstar?
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
think
a bummer.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You get the full amount.
Okay.
But the bank will exchange it for paper money, I think. But that's another errand.
But
so just why not bring the bag of nickels?
Does it have to be rolled, or can you just walk into the bank and just dump it on the
it
counter?
might have to be rolled.
Yeah.
You're right.
Uh-huh. All right.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
All right, a very special edition of the Not So Breaking News this morning, as we have to travel over the water.
From Atlanta, Fulton County. What color I see? Then you may
go, and there's an exchange of
Tales from across the pond.
Yeah, a couple of stories taking us overseas. The first one in England, where a woman by the name of Natasha Emney has become famous. 14 million views on her TikTok video, where it turns out she is in an absolute panic because she was having some new flooring put in. So she had moved some things around, especially her bookcases. And one of the things on the top shelf of the bookcase, out of reach of her little children's, was an urn that contained her father's ashes. But for this particular moment, while putting the new flooring in and moving the bookshelf, she had taken the urn and put it on a lower shelf. And for the entire day, her son paid no attention to the urn whatsoever, until she decided to take a load of laundry upstairs and put it in the bedroom. And when she came back downstairs, well, that's when she saw this.
Oh my God, when your son eats your dad's ashes, my son has eaten my dad's ashes.
I came upstairs to bring some washing, went back down a few minutes later, and he had it all over his mouth. I was in complete shock.
Yep, in the video.
Oh, well.
You see her standing there. You see the little toddler standing there with like a gray face.
Oh.
And then there's gray all over the couch and all over the floor. He had clearly gotten into the urn.
He just wanted to be close to Grandpa.
What? How does that end if you have ingested somebody's ashes? Like, is there any kind of, like, hazard? I'd probably give you an upset stomach, but there's no type of, like, biohazard, is there?
I don't think so. I mean, if the fire burns hot enough to turn bone to ash, it's probably killed anything that is,
Right.
done. It's just probably just a I think he's getting his first taste of cottonmouth for when he gets older. He knows what it's going to be like now. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, think of the crowd you can gather at every party telling that story when you grow up.
Oh, yeah, that one's going to live on forever. That one for sure. Well, they're going to show that video at his wedding, without a doubt. Our second story takes us over to Germany. And if you are into UFOs or conspiracy theories about aliens landing on Earth, you may have already heard this story. I don't even know how to take it. But apparently, shape-shifting aliens massacred soldiers with explosive energy bursts back in Germany years ago, according to a new CIA report.
Okay.
Apparently, the Russians downed an alien UFO, according to this 250-page secret file that was acquired by the CIA. The report says that a couple of aliens came out with large heads and large black eyes to then form into one sort of circular, spherical type thing, which then released a giant energy burst, turning German soldiers into rock statues, and this all happened 35 years ago. The CIA has just been given the report, and apparently this report was released. They are uncertain why the Russians shot down the aliens, but 2 soldiers did happen to survive. They are apparently interviewed for this report. They're not sure why they were spared. And now all of this information is available through this released CIA report.
Wow.
I don't know if you're into the whole alien thing, but the report says there was a source of energy that is still unknown to Earthlings.
And they combined to form this.
Apparently,
like Voltron.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Apparently, there were multiple aliens, and they combined to form a spherical type ball of light, which was then a source of energy that is still unknown to Earthlings.
Like Voltron.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Again, I don't know. They say it could be linked to the incidents around Roswell in 1947. The famous, Area 51 type stuff. Take it for what it's worth.
Huh.
And we may not be alone. There you go. Your not so breaking news and your tales from across the pond. 99.7 The Blitz. So years ago, I started writing like a play. I had an idea, and I started writing. And I've realized writing something like that is very difficult when you're talking about dialogue and how would 2 people converse and how do things move along. So writing the perfect script obviously is not easy. But sometimes you see something, and you're just like, wait, that makes no sense. Huge plot holes.
Yeah.
That you're like, how wait, what? That is a completely unanswered question, or that doesn't make any sense. Happens all the time. And so a movie popped up in one of my streaming services that I saw a while ago, and I remember this is a movie I had a problem with because it had such a blaring plot hole in it. It drove me nuts. If you've seen the movie The Core, which is one of those disaster, end-of-the-world movies, you know, much like Armageddon, except Armageddon was in space, The Core is they have to go to the core of the Earth because the core of the Earth has stopped spinning, and it's causing havoc around the world, and they need to fix it. If you've seen the movie, in part of it, they've got this special kind of almost submarine-ish type thing that burrows through the ground. And then as they're burrowing through the ground, they're like, wait a minute, what's this static on the screen? And the guy who programmed it said, I didn't teach the computer how to read nothingness, so it comes up as static. And as they reach the static, they go into a free fall. It's like an empty cavern in the middle of Earth as they're burrowing to the middle of the Earth. And then they have to fix a few things, and then they're back on their way. And then, as disaster movies always turn out, they end up doing what they need to do, and then they're on their way back. But at the end of the movie, they begin their ascent to the surface of the Earth, and then they just jump, and they're on the surface of the Earth. I think they do one of those, like, 13 hours later sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
But here's the question.
Yeah.
This specialized ship doesn't fly. How did they get back up through the nothingness?
Yeah.
It's not a flying machine. You just free fell hundreds of feet. So how did you get back up through the nothingness? It drives me nuts every time I see it.
That must have been why they did the 13 hours later, because they went, oh, we'll have to address that if we
exactly.
don't.
We don't have an answer for that
we'll
one.
just pretend that it didn't happen.
Trust us, it was pretty cool what happened.
Right, yeah, exactly. So, can you think of a plot hole that drives you nuts in a movie? You got one, Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, Gravity, that is a plot hole. There's nothing that would be pulling George Clooney. He's hanging onto that tether. You're in space. All Sandra Bullock would have had to do is give you basically a little tug, and then you're coming toward the...
Isn't that what she did? Or no?
No, he's he sacrifices himself so that she... Yeah.
But she could reach the tether and give him a tug.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for him to sacrifice himself. And he acts like he's being, pulled by some force. You're in space. You're
Nothing
in
is
space.
pulling on you.
Yeah, there's no force pulling on you. There's no gravity.
This is like Jack on the door in Titanic.
Scooch over, Rose.
Yes, move over just a little bit. Greedy, Pia. Thick, what's your big movie plot that drives you nuts?
There's several, but the one that bothers me the most, because it's just one of those movies I loved growing up, was Terminator. So they're set in the 80s, which is when the movie came out, and the war against the machines is happening in the future. And John Connor is leading the rebellion against the machines in the future, and the machines send Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, back to kill John Connor's mother before she gives birth to him, so that he can't lead the rebellion.
Okay.
And then John sends a personal bodyguard back through time to guard his mother,
right?
Which is Reese. Well, then, while they're, trying to run from Terminator, from Schwarzenegger throughout the movie, they end up falling for each other and have sex, and she gets pregnant with John Connor. But John Connor sent Reese back to protect his mom, so how could John Connor be in the future if Reese came back from the future to impregnate Sarah Connor with John Connor?
Well, that would just be the infinite loop of...
Well, which came first, John Connor or Sarah Connor?
The chicken or the egg? Which came first?
You can't. It's not possible. And so that drove me nuts.
Well,
but I love the movie so much, and that one thing just drove me nuts.
We all know it was John Connor because men always come first. So then it's just then it begins the infinite loop. But, because then there's another Terminator movie where Reese and Connor, the Christian Bale one, where they're actually Reese is a kid, and then John Connor is older.
Oh, okay.
Then Reese would have to come. Well, yeah. All right. That's a confusing one.
Yeah, that is just, it can't happen.
Okay. 800-821-9970. 99700 if you want to text us. What's that movie plot hole that just drives you nuts?
How about Wizard of Oz? Glinda always knew that Dorothy only had to click her heels 3 times with those ruby slippers to get home.
Yeah.
The whole time.
The whole time. And never told her till the end.
Just tell her in the beginning. You know why? Because then there'd just be no movie. So
And that's the reason.
How about the Karate Kid?
Oh, the kick.
Oh, no kick to the face.
No kick to the face.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he won with a kick to the face.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he Dr. Point?
Yep. Danielson really was the evil one in that movie. No. Just saying. Yeah, if you've got one, 800-821-9970. Give us a call. We'd love to hear your big movie plot hole that just drives you nuts. Or you can choose to text 99700. It's 997 The Blitz. All right, here's another plot hole in a movie that drives me nuts. As much as I love the movie, Back to the Future. Look, if you're in high school and you have a massive crush on someone, and then your now boyfriend is kind of best friends with the same guy, and then years later you have a son, and that son looks exactly like the person you met in high school.
Calvin Klein.
Might have a question or two.
Yeah.
Like, look-alike? Maybe.
You're the one that got us together back at the Under the Sea dance. What
But
is this?
exactly like the person we saw in high school.
That's very interesting music, Marty.
Not only that, 5021 said, yeah, in Back to the Future 2, how the hell did Biff know how to use the time machine in a flying car?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. You don't just sit down and know how to operate this thing. You can totally see that. You got another one, Thick?
How about Independence Day?
Okay.
How do you design a virus that works with alien software?
Right. What? They use Apple computers
Right.
too?
Yeah.
They just happen to know Microsoft Word?
It's all
They're just-
cobalt, baby.
Right.
That's hilarious.
That's why they're so advanced, because those aliens have figured out Excel spreadsheets. They just
right.
know how to do it.
That's
so,
right.
If you've got one, 800-821-9970 or 99700 if you've got a good one.
Honey says in Romeo and Juliet, Leo DiCaprio, he had a gun. And if Romeo had a gun, why didn't he just kill everyone who was keeping him and Juliet apart?
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
Just lay them all out.
Yeah.
I like this one, too. Patrick says Lord of the Rings. Gandalf could have just had the birds fly them all the way to Mordor.
All the way. Yes.
I would be so mad at Gandalf.
Right. Why did
You made me walk this entire way when we had flying apparati? What? That'd piss me off.
And I still don't understand signs how aliens allergic to water are so dumb that they would come to a planet made of water.
Yeah, if you can fly through space, you can take a look at a globe and go, nah, that's 70% water down there. We're not going down there.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
A substitute teacher at a Columbus charter school is accused of asking a 15-year-old student to kill her estranged husband for $2,000.
You can't do that.
Costs a lot more.
According to court records, 44-year-old Stephanie Demetrius approached a student last Wednesday at the Academy for Urban Scholars High School on East Broad Street and asked the student to kill her husband in exchange for $2,000. And records say she gave him a down payment of $250. She also reportedly told the student that when the children would be out of the house and the student could find her husband home alone. So that's how far we got before the student's mom stumbled upon the text messages in her son's phone and called the police. According to court records, the estranged husband says, yeah, she's already tried to stab me with a pair of scissors. I guess he tried to run him over, according to court records, and also set fire in their basement. So we're not dealing with an exactly...
Why are you still with this woman?
Well, they're estranged. They have been since last year. But she asked for the divorce.
That's unbelievable.
Wild. She is currently in jail on $150,000 bond.
Why are you texting those details? That's crazy.
Yeah, to not think, hey, there's a record of this.
Yeah. Not exactly dealing with a brain trust, I don't believe.
And this is a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
In the quiet town of Seneca, Kansas, population 2,100, police say the community's beloved priest, Father Carasala, was at home yesterday afternoon in the church rectory, hanging out, minding his own business, when he was approached by an older man who pulled out a gun and shot him 3 times. Father Carasala is dead. The 66-year-old gunman is in custody. Carasala had been the pastor at St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church in Seneca since 2011, and police are not releasing any details on a motive. So, I don't know. It's always interesting to me when it's dealing with a member of the priesthood, clergy, anything. It's always an interesting situation. A New York City man has been arrested and charged with performing unauthorized medical procedures at his apartment in Queens that left a patient with no brain activity. Yeah. Police say a 31-year-old woman went to the apartment of 38-year-old Felipe Hoyos Ferranda last Friday. She wanted her butt implants removed. Prosecutors say he injected her with lidocaine, a local anesthetic, and she immediately went into cardiac arrest. Apparently put a little too much lidocaine in her body, allegedly. Then he apparently called 911 and then took off. Decides he's going to fly to Colombia, and that's where they arrested him, at JFK. Prosecutors say they believe that he was regularly injecting Botox and fillers into people, performing liposuction in this apartment, and they are asking other victims to please come forward.
Who is going to an apartment to get medical procedures?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a cost-cutting measure.
You're right.
You can't afford to get the butt implants removed, so you go to Joe Blow in his apartment in Queens. I don't know, man.
That's some dark news, Kelly.
Yeah, that was. Absolutely. Doombringer. Hey, our friends over at Skyline Chili were nice enough to hook us up with some gift cards. We've got these $50 gift cards to celebrate the return of their nachos and their new spicy nachos topped with fiery jalapeno slices. And you can get extra heat with the Skyline's Extreme Habanero Cheese. And then if you want, take them home, get yourself a little added heat with hot sauce. Because hot sauce has become like all the rave now. Everyone's got a hot sauce.
I feel like there's like hot honey. That's the rave, don't you think?
Well, hot honey's become a thing. Yeah, for sure.
Honey, yeah, that hot sauce.
And here's the thing. Apparently there is like a contest as to who can make the hottest hot sauce.
Okay.
I mean, they just keep getting hotter and hotter. And it's not only about the hot sauce, it's also about grabbing someone's attention because there are so many out there, so they have to get creative with the names. So we've got Rocky and Mark on the phone. Good morning. Both trying to win a $50 gift card to Skyline Chili. Here's the deal, gentlemen. I have a list here of names of hot sauces out on the market. You need to tell me whether or not these are real or fake hot sauces you can buy on the interwebs right now, okay?
All right.
Great.
Alrighty.
Rocky, we're going to start with you. Explosion hot sauce. Explosion. Is that a real or fake hot sauce?
Fake on that one.
No, that's a real one.
Whoa.
That's a real one. Yeah. Mark, on to you.
That's really gross to put that on a label.
I think it's hilarious.
Oh, you wait. Mark, for you.
I heard it.
Blowout habanero serious hot sauce.
No. Fake.
No, that's real. That's a real one, too. Yeah. All right, Rocky, back to you. Camel toe chipotle mango hot sauce.
Fake.
No, that's a real one, too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mark, choke your chicken garlic habanero hot sauce.
That's got to be fake.
No, that's real, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on.
Rocky, colon cleaner professional furred pounders.
True.
That is real, yes, absolutely. Are you catching a theme here? Mark, on to you. Hemorrhoid helper burns both ways hot sauce.
I'm going to go with true.
That is real, yeah. You know, when there's nothing to make, you get the hemorrhoid helper. Makes everything better. Rocky, back to you. This is a dinosaur-based one. Megasaurus hot sauce.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is real. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mark, here we go. Rectal rocket fuel island jerk hot sauce.
Oh, that's 100% true.
That is true. Yeah, absolutely. All of those were real that you can get online. I don't know if I want the rectal rocket fuel or the choker chicken garlic habanero more. Both sound good. You know what, guys? We've got 2 cards. We'll hook you both up. $50 Skyline gift card. Go grab yourself some lunch today and have a great one. It's 99.7 The Blitz. There's a website out there called Fesshole, and people go on, and it's almost like anonymous Twitter or X. You know, it's just short little blurbs.
Okay.
But it's people admitting things that they've done.
Oh, Fesshole confessions.
Confessions.
I love this stuff.
Yes. Just little tidbits that they've done.
Yes.
And they kind of want to get it off their chest.
Yes.
Let everybody know. And they're fun to read. Like this guy. A jerk in a van cut me off to get into the gas station. And sitting behind him still, I was fuming. And I noticed he handed his girlfriend or his wife in the car with him, handed her his phone. But it was a work van, so there was a number on it. So he texts the number. The sex was amazing. Same time next week, question mark. The second he got back in the van, he saw the yelling starting.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't have your number on the side of your vehicle if you're going to drive like a jerk. Let's see. My girlfriend tells me not to put the pans in the dishwasher, but when she goes to work, I put those bad boys, go straight in the dishwasher for a minimum of 2 cycles. And then I put them back on the drainer just like they were hand washed like she told me to. Yep.
Take that, little lady.
Don't tell me how to do my dishes. I used to work as an office cleaner at night. Sometimes I'd flip a few pages deep into a person's yellow Post-it notepad, and I would write things like, I look at you all day and I'm in love with you. Or, I wish we could meet after work. So it takes a few days, you don't find it right away, and then you get to that one, you're like, wait, what? This person admits, my husband borrowed my small case for a 2-day trip. He didn't notice that I'd actually left an item in there commonly used by women when they're on their own and not for men. It showed up in the x-ray machine at the airport, and they unpacked it for him.
Oh.
I would love to do that to someone. A number of close friends have commented how lovely and heartfelt the message I wrote in their wedding card was. Little they know, I've been recycling the same message in wedding cards for 12 years now.
I believe a lot of people do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you find something that works.
Yeah, what else is there to say?
Right,
Have a
just
great
stick with
life.
it.
You're perfect for each other. What do you want from me?
Having tried floss, toothpicks, brushes, and water jets, I've found that the best tool for removing tartar from between teeth is toenail clippings.
Oh, what?
Also saves and eliminates plastic waste.
God, my God.
No, thank you.
Wow.
And finally, this confession. I had a date over. We ordered some pizza. I noticed she had a little sauce on her cheek, so I tried to wipe it off. After a couple failed attempts at wiping it off, she said, that's a spot. She left shortly after that. I'm sitting here all alone.
Oh, man. Oops.
A spot.
I had a birthmark or something.
Right.
I remember, what were we in, 8th grade, something like that? And it was me and a friend of mine that lived across the street and a girl that lived around the block. We were doing 8th grade stuff, just hanging out, whatever. And he goes, you've got something like up here, and kind of rubbed above his lip. Shit started to get a little peach fuzz.
Oh.
It's creepy.
Oh, man.
She goes, yeah, that's hair.
Oh.
You can't do that. Keep it to yourself. Just keep it to yourself. 997 The Blitz. So I was talking with my sister, and I was reminded of a story that I love, and it's one of those stories where you just go, what are the odds of this happening? It's virtually impossible, basically. A couple years ago, my mother had mentioned that she had never been to Philadelphia and always wanted to go. She wanted to go see, Independence Hall and Liberty Bell and just all the history around Philadelphia. So I decided one weekend to surprise her. I said, pack a bag. We're going on a road trip. So we drove from Detroit to Philadelphia, took my mom on a little weekend getaway, and we got there Friday. We checked in the hotel. Friday night, we went out to a somewhat upscale restaurant. Nothing crazy, but, nice little sit down, had ourselves a steak. And our server was super nice, and we were saying how we were visiting and got to chit-chatting with the server a little bit, and all was well. The next morning, we get up. We have our day planned, and we go to the little corner spot and get a coffee and a bagel, and then I call an Uber. And we wait on the Uber, we get in the Uber, and he drives us over to I don't know the name of the road, but if you've ever been to Philadelphia, there is a long road lined with trees and museums, and it ends at the famous Philadelphia Library, which, of course, is the staircase that Rocky ran in the movie.
Okay.
And ever since then, I don't know when the statue went up, but they actually have a Rocky statue that used to sit on top of the stairs, and people used to run up the stairs all the time and take a picture with it. But I don't know if it's because of the stairs or too many people hanging out, but they have now moved the statue, and the statue actually sits on the kind of the street level, and people wait in line to take pictures. So we did that, like most people do who visit Philadelphia. And where the library is, there is a giant roundabout. It's not one of your tiny little roundabouts that you see. It's a big roundabout people drive around. And as we're walking back, we're across the roundabout on the other side of the street, and my mom all of a sudden goes, "Hey!" and screams out real loud. And I was like, "What?" I turn around. She goes, "That guy, the car dropped its mattress." There was a car driving with a mattress on top, obviously moving it somewhere, and it had kind of flipped backwards into the street. And so the person got out to grab the mattress, and I go running over to help this person, and we get 1, 2, 3, and we heave it up on top, and he goes, "Thanks, man." I shake his hand, "Thank you," and he stops. It was our server from the restaurant the night before.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, in a town of 2 million plus people... at 11:30 in the morning, and you think about all that we had to wait for the Uber, we waited in line for the Rocky picture, like all this timing, and it was our server down by the library from the night before. Just the most just an unbelievable, what are the odds type story. So if you've got one, 800-821-9970. Love to hear your what are the odds story. Kelly, you said you had one?
I do. This happened back when I was 20 years old. I was doing office work for this woman, worked on the off Roberts Road on the west side. And she would just, a lot of times, have me run errands for her. That she paid me for it, whatever. She said, "Hey, I need you to go pick up a wooden coat rack from this house in Grandview," whatever. So it's not that far. Maybe, 15-minute drive or so?
Yeah.
Gives me the keys to this person's house. It was at a friend of hers house to go pick up this coat rack. So I go inside the house and I'm looking around for this coat rack. I have to pee. So I go up into the bathroom and all of a sudden I can't express to you how this fear descended upon my body. Like I was filled with fear. Like I was just like it was the weirdest sensation. I'm like, all of a sudden, I was so afraid. I'm like, I got to get out of here. So I picked up the coat rack, locked the door, and drove back to work. By the time, I would say it was within 5 minutes of me getting back to work, giving the keys back, giving her the coat rack, she got a phone call. The homeowner had gotten home sometime between my time there and my time arriving back at the office, and her home was ransacked. And she's like, "Did you notice anything when you went in?" I'm like, "No. Everything was totally normal."
Oh.
So I, to this day, think somebody was in the house when I was in there.
Oh.
And waited for me to leave before they ripped this person off.
Right.
Like ransacked the home, stole whatever, and took off. So I don't know if that's kind of like along the lines of what you're talking about, but it is a really odd thing that... And I guess there was no sign of like broken into, and they thought I left the front door unlocked, but I know I didn't.
That would be freaky.
So
that
anyway, it's kind of a coincidence, right? Feeling that intense fear and not knowing why.
I would think so. Yeah, and especially since something happened.
Something something happened.
Absolutely. Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Hi, good morning. It's Tristan.
Tristan, do you have what are the odds type story?
I sure do. So when I was in high school, I was into playing video games and always meeting new people, right? Well, I made a really good connection with this dude for like 2 years of playing games with him. And I posted a picture on my Snapchat, and he goes, "Yo, that's my cousin. He gives me this dude's name, address, phone number, social media. And at this point, I'm like tweaking out. So I asked my buddy, and I'm like, "Yo, do you know this guy from down in Florida? Blah, blah, blah. I've known him for over a year playing games with him." And he was like, "Dude, that's my cousin." And I was like, at that moment in time, just blown away.
You randomly met up online playing games with one of your friend's cousins, not even knowing it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
100%.
Are you guys still in communication and stuff?
Oh, yeah, once in a blue moon, we always check in, but, you have kids and priorities are different.
Nah, I love it, Tristan. Thanks so much. Have a great one. Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
AJ.
AJ, what's your you won't believe the odds type story?
Well, it's basically, it's kind of a long story, but it was basically about going to my brother's funeral and our car stalling out. But you'll see where the tie-in comes.
Okay. Why don't you give us the story?
So basically what happened was my brother passed away in 2021.
Okay.
And we were going to the funeral. We were piling the whole family in the car. And I had this old BMW I used to drive. And the BMW wouldn't start. I turned the key dead completely. So my wife was like, okay, we'll pile in my little tiny Saturn. So we all piled in her car. We went to the gas station because we needed gas on the way to the funeral. And when we went to leave the gas pump, that car wouldn't start either.
Our brother doesn't want you at the funeral for some reason. Okay.
Well, I don't know, but that car wouldn't start. So I got out. I got a stick that was in her trunk, and I was like banging on the starter. And as I was doing that, a car pulled into the intersection and got broadsided.
Oh.
So it's
as soon as I saw that accident happen, my wife turned the key and the car started.
No way.
We went to the funeral.
Final destination.
Yeah, Final Destination type stuff.
That's wild.
Saved you from getting T-boned.
So we get home, and we go around, get to the funeral. We get out of the funeral, we get home, and I turn the key on my BMW, and it started instantly.
Wild.
No. Yeah, that's insane.
You were meant to be saved that day.
That's crazy. Thank you for the call. 800-821-9970, 99700. We would love to hear your what are the odds type stories. We'll get to it in 3.5 minutes, 99.7 The Blitz. We're talking about your what are the odds type stories. Did you ever see the video floating around the World Wide Web? There were two guys, and I don't know, they were on one of these like chat roulettes where you just pop into a room and you talk to someone.
Yeah.
And these two guys are talking, and all of a sudden one guy leans in and goes, Carrie, what are you doing over there? Carrie, what are you doing there? And the guy's like, what? He goes, the woman on your couch. Carrie, what the hell are you doing? And the guy turns around and goes, that's my girlfriend Stephanie. He goes, dude, that's my girlfriend Carrie. And he goes, do you know this guy? And she leans in. She goes, I don't know him. He goes, you said you were going to get your nails done. Wait, what are you talking about? And the guy turns around and goes, you did leave the house for 2 hours. And then they stop, and then one guy goes, wait a minute, you said you were in California. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm in Texas. There's no way that's your girlfriend. Guy grabs a picture and holds it up to the camera. It was his girlfriend's twin sister.
Oh,
they were adopted.
Wow. What?
Identical twin sisters. And now they hang out, and they found each other. They were separated at birth, and they were adopted out to different families.
Wow. That is wild.
Absolutely insane. I'll have to bring up the video and show you. Tim, good morning. Tim, what was your what are the odd stories?
First of all, that twins video is really cool, but I'm pretty sure it's fake.
You think so?
No.
Oh, you just ripped my heart out, man.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for ruining that. Every party's got a pooper, and that party pooper's Tim.
That's fine.
You have a story, Tim?
So, my dad graduated in St. Paul, Minnesota from high school in 1979. My family moved here right after we graduated and all this stuff. In the mid-90s, he's working in the union, and he gets voted into a position where he's up at the union hall more. The building manager at the union hall was the guy who he lined up against playing football from his rival high school for 4 years.
Wow. Okay. So was there animosity right off the bat, or were they respectful about each other?
They're lifelong friends.
Oh, there you go.
They're buddies.
Okay. I love that. That's very cool. Thank you so much for the call. Minda, good morning. Oh, wait, is Minda there? Minda?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Minda. What's your what are the odd stories?
Hi. All right, so I have two kids. They're 6 years apart. My first son was born in Columbus, Ohio, Riverside Hospital. He was a preemie. So I looked for a really good pediatrician, and his first pediatrician's name was Delphus Richardson. He was on the cover of Columbus Monthly, everything. I moved to Seattle. I lived there for years. I get transferred on my job to Phoenix, Arizona with AirTouch Cellular. I have a second child, and I'm looking for a pediatrician, and there's a Delphus Richardson listed in my health care. And I thought, there's no way there could be two Delphus Richardsons. So I show up at the appointment with Columbus Monthly in hand, and my kids, born one in Mesa, Arizona, one in Columbus, Ohio, both had the same first pediatrician.
Wow, that's very wild.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, his wife had moved down there to help on the reservations, and that's what took him there. It was really bizarre because, that's just really bizarre.
Yeah, that absolutely is. I love that. That's really cool. Yeah.
That is cool.
Thanks so much for the call, Minda. We got time for one more here. Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
It's Tommy.
Tommy, what's your what are the odds story?
Okay, so I was in jail in Fairfield County Jail, and I was in there for 6 months. I got out on May 9th of 2023, and 9 days later, my 20-month-old son passed away in his sleep.
Well,
so if I would not have took a plea bargain and went to trial, then I would have been incarcerated for the death of my son.
Oh, wow. That's heartbreaking. I mean, I'm glad you were there for it, but man, I'm sorry for your loss. That's a way to end it. Okay. Well, I appreciate the phone call.
I feel like we're missing part of the story.
I mean,
why would they think you would have killed your son? What?
Well, no, I think
he would have missed the
he
death
would have
of his
missed the
son.
day. He would have missed the funeral. He would have missed the death because he would have been
incarcerated.
Right.
Oh, I see. Okay, I missed it. Well, I am sorry. That's
You
an
went
awful
dark.
story. I did. I was like, what happened here?
Well,
oh, man. Well, I'm glad things worked out there. That's a very sad story.
So, yeah, that's a way to end it.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Just days before Donald Trump was inaugurated, the outgoing U.S. ambassador to China enacted a ban on all American government personnel serving in China, their family members, and all contractors from any romantic or sexual relationship with Chinese citizens. The ambassador's name, Nicholas Burns. He was appointed ambassador to China by former President Biden. He put the ban in place as he was sort of headed out of that position. Now, some U.S. agencies already have a strict non-fraternization policy, but this type of blanket policy over everyone has been unheard of since the Cold War. And it's not that uncommon for American government workers to meet and marry someone from the country they're working in.
I can see that.
So you're you're forbidden from dating or having any type of romantic or sexual relationship with a Chinese citizen if you work for the American government or if you're a family member. And the only exception to the policy is if you were already in a relationship with a Chinese citizen before the ban was put in place, and only then can you apply for an extension. And if it's denied, you have to break up.
Oh. Which is odd because as in J.J. Abrams' prequel to the Star Trek movies, Spock questions his father as to why he married an Earth woman. And he said, it's only logical to help better understand Earth and Earthlings because he was the ambassador to Earth for the Vulcans. So it would make sense that if you're the ambassador to China, why wouldn't you want to know more about their culture and fall in love with someone over there?
Or let your people, that hundreds of people who work for the American government who are working in China. It's just interesting. You reply like, I've been dating this lady for 3 years. Denied. Go break up with her.
Gotta break up with her, yeah.
That is nuts.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that the Justice Department has restored Mel Gibson's right to own a gun.
Oh, good.
It was taken away from him back in 2011. He pleaded no contest to a domestic violence situation there with his former girlfriend. And it was a misdemeanor. Now, we all know that felons cannot own guns, but if you, usually if you are convicted of a misdemeanor, it doesn't impact your right to own a gun unless it is a conviction for domestic violence, which in his case it was. So his right to own a gun was taken away. But new regulations were recently published by the Justice Department that restore gun rights to certain people with certain criminal convictions, and that includes Mel Gibson.
You make me want to smoke.
So there you go. All right. If you're into true crime, do I have a court case for you? Opening statements could begin today in the case of a woman who's found murdered in her Denver area home. And here's a little summary for you. In the late fall of 2023, a woman named Crystal Krug got a text from an old boyfriend saying, "Hey, I'm going to be in town. Do you want to hook up?" So she didn't respond. She's like, what the heck? And then other messages follow from this guy. A lot of them are angry and obscene, including one that referred to her loser husband, others saying that she was being watched. So she contacts police. She's like, this guy is like freaking stalking me via text. I'm like worried. A few weeks later, she's found beaten and stabbed to death in her home. So police are like, okay, well, it's obviously an ex-boyfriend's the suspect here.
Number one. Yep.
So they trace the IP address to her husband's workplace. Her husband was arrested for her murder, basically, apparently, allegedly sending these texts as if he was the ex-boyfriend. He was mad because she wanted to get a divorce and get full custody of the kids.
Oh.
So he worked this whole plot up where he was sending texts acting like the ex-boyfriend, and he was easily busted. It's weird. The ex-boyfriend lives in like Utah or something.
Right.
He obviously had an alibi. Can you imagine having the police show up at your door? Yeah, did you murder your ex-girlfriend? What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway,
How does anyone not know about IP addresses and how easy it is to trace where emails and things come from through the internet?
And you know the whole time the guy thought he was a genius.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, the dominoes fell pretty quickly. But anyway, opening statements and that trial begin today, and those are your three things.
Goose versus Kelly in a round of Think Fast, up for grabs. Tickets to see Chevelle. We've got Steve and Sophia on the phone. Good morning, Steve. You called in first. You get to pick your representative. Do you want Kelly or do you want Goose?
Goose.
Ah, there we go. All right, guys versus girls. Here we go. Sophia, you are represented by Kelly. We're going to put you on hold here because we got to get our minds right. We're going to play a round of Think Fast. Very simple. Thick is going to give us a clue. First person to give an answer gets a point. The most points wins. Today, Thick, what is the category for Think Fast?
All right, simple. I name an artist, you name a song by that artist. Oh. So these are easy. It'll just be how quick you can think. But just so there's no mistake, this is the only category. Everything is this. I name the artist, you name the song.
Just name a song.
Any song by the artist.
By the artist
yes.
name.
These are going to be, this is Thinking Fast. This is going to be rapid fire.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Ready.
All right, give me a song title by Pearl Jam.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Sophia, you better start praying.
All right, how about a song by AC/DC?
Big Balls.
Wow. Wow, look at that. All right, 1-1. All right, we can't do all rock and roll.
Oh, no.
How about a song by Madonna?
Holiday.
Whoa.
I'm not good at this.
Well, you were pretty quick on the last one there. All right. Disturbed.
Down with the sickness.
Okay. I won't get any of these. I don't know names of songs very
you
well.
Got one. How about a song
Hit it,
by
baby, one more time.
The Eagles?
Hotel California.
He got it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Give me a song by Garth Brooks.
Friends in Low Prices.
Yes.
Friends in Low Places. I said Prices.
Friends in Low Places.
All right, how about Ozzy Osbourne?
Back in Black Sabbath.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Crazy Train.
Crazy Train, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know names of songs. You might as well ask me the name of the album. That's how much I'm going to know this. I'll get lucky every now and again.
Give me a song by Taylor Swift.
I don't know one single song by Taylor Swift.
Red? Is that an album?
I literally know no songs.
I'm the problem. It's you. You're.
That was worth the whole thing.
I am blunt.
You're never ever breaking up.
Never ever. Is that her?
Yeah. Never getting back together?
Yes.
Okay. Wrong artist.
Taylor Swift.
Oh my gosh, you guys. All right. How about Led Zeppelin?
Oh,
Cashmere.
Stairway to Heaven.
Tupac?
I think it's how do you see me? California Love.
California Love?
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good
I would
here.
say,
Here's
yeah.
kind of like
I would say Steve's kind of the winner on this one.
I absolutely am not doing this category ever again because the competition's not fair. It's not even close.
Okay.
I got one.
It's true. You did. Well, I got
Actually,
one the last
two.
time.
You got two, but
yeah, we counted. We counted that one. Steve, we're going to give you tickets to Chevelle. Sophia, if you want, I've got a leftover pair of Sam Morril. If you want to go check out the comedian next Thursday, if you got no plans, how about that?
That sounds fantastic.
All
Great.
right,
Okay.
still a winner.
You guys hang on. We'll get you hooked up. 99.7 The Blitz.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
Yes. Let's start with a WTF. What the Florida? We go down to Tampa, where a gentleman by the name of Dexter Smithen went into a Tesla dealership back on March 26 and says, I'm looking for a new vehicle. I've been seeing these cyber trucks around. I'm thinking I want to get me one. Is it okay if I test drive it? And you would think with a car as expensive as that, they would do a little bit more than just take your license. But that's what they did. Took a license, the photo matched, who he was, and they said, sure, here you go. Be no longer than 30 minutes, please. Well, that didn't happen because 2 days later, they're still trying to get in touch with this man saying, bring back the Cybertruck. And as it turns out, they were able to use geolocation and tracking on the vehicle to find the truck sitting in a Home Depot parking lot. Apparently, this gentleman had gone inside, and the truck was still in the parking lot. So the salespeople went over and grabbed the truck, drove it back to the dealership. They've got their property back. And they thought it might have been all over with. Until Mr. Smithen said, darn it, my belongings were in that truck. So he went back to the dealership to collect his belongings, where he was then told, yeah, we'll get your stuff. Just hang on 1 second. Of course, that's when they called the police, and the police showed up at the dealership, and he was promptly arrested for Grand Theft Auto and $100,000 of unlawful possession. Because not only did they arrest him for taking the truck, but when they did arrest him, they found he had 5 credit cards in the names of 5 different people. So he was part of a credit card theft ring as well.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.
Stupid. Our next story takes us up to Port Orchard, Washington, where a chicken by the name of Polly is now safe because police reported to an instant the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office had a call for help on March 29th when a woman said a former boyfriend broke into her home, grabbed the chicken, and screamed, "I've got Polly!" and then ran away. After a search, deputies found the man hiding in the woods behind the house. He was still holding on to the chicken. In fact, here's some of the body cam footage audio from the arrest.
Show me your hands. That's fine. Just hold your chicken. Don't hurt my chicken. I'm not going to hurt your chicken. Stand up.
Relax.
I'm going to have you put the chicken in here for a second.
Don't hurt my chicken.
Just hold your chicken.
Don't hurt my chicken.
Don't hurt my chicken. Don't hurt my chicken.
I'm not going to hurt your chicken.
That's good to know.
Aww.
Jail records show that the man was released after about 2.5 hours and is now waiting a court date. I'm very curious, is this going to be like a breaking and entering type situation because he broke into the home?
Yeah.
Is this a petty theft? Because, I mean, the chicken obviously has some sort of value. In fact, depending on what type of chicken it is, if this thing is spitting out eggs, it could be a high-valued chicken. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with this Port Orchard man. But all is well. Polly is fine. No damage done to the chicken. It's 99.7 The Blitz.
Just hold your chicken.
So a few times a week, I go on my little walk to, get out of the house, starting to get a little exercise in. And I go to this park right over here along the Scioto River. They've got the Frisbee golf, and then it heads past the police boat dock and the dam there. And then it's basically a 5K one way, and then I turn around and I walk the 5K back. It's like a little 2-hour walk. Gets the legs going, gets the blood pumping. And yesterday after my walk, I was craving potato skins. So I just wanted some bacon and some cheese and some sour cream. And so I went over to the Red Door Tavern over here on 5th. I'm really beginning to like that place. And I'm sitting there having my potato skins, watching some golf. And I hear two guys across the bar. And the one guy goes, "Oh, yeah, I was here for that one. I lived through the blizzard of 78.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he was an older gentleman, and through my massive detective skills and deduction, I figured out that I think Columbus had a big blizzard in 78. And they were talking about it and how, how they were locked in the house and the city was shut down, and you both are shaking your head like you remember the blizzard of 78.
Absolutely. They shut schools down and everything. Yeah.
About how long was the shutdown? Was it a couple days before they kind of got dug out?
Thick, do you remember? We were probably out of school for a week, maybe?
Was that when we were doing,
No, that was not the energy crisis.
Okay, that was the energy crisis.
Yeah.
We lived through that, though.
We lived through the energy crisis.
I was doing school on the Cube box.
Yeah, they sent us home from school in the 70s. They did for 2 months.
For that, yeah.
For the energy crisis. Before any pandemic happened, back in the 70s, we had the energy crisis, and they sent us home so they could turn off the lights at all the schools and save energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the question. 800-821-9970 or 99-700. What did you live through? Now, obviously, all of us have experienced, national or worldwide events, the Challenger explosion, 9/11, things like that. I want to know locally, what did you live through? Because when I lived in Colorado Springs, I also lived through the blizzard of 2016. In fact, I was stuck on I-25. I was stuck on the major highway for 4.5 hours because the highway was completely shut down due to like a 60-car pileup. I had a semi-truck sitting right next to me on the highway that I was just watching move and sway with the 80-mile-an-hour winds through this blizzard.
Man.
And just stuck. Couldn't go anywhere for 4.5 hours.
What did you do? You obviously had the gas. I bet people ran out of gas,
I bet some people did, yeah. And then before that, I lived through a massive wildfire in Colorado Springs that actually resulted in thousands of homes being burnt down, evacuation notices. In fact, the radio station I worked at the time was right inside the evacuation zone. We actually had to get a letter from the mayor giving us permission for a few days to go in and out because they had that whole area blocked off in the evacuation. So 800-821-9970 or 99-700. What did you live through?
I lived through the Gator Bowl, Ohio State versus Clemson, where one Woody Hayes punched a Clemson player and got fired the next day.
For intercepting a pass.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't punch the other team's players. That's not allowed. I would love to hear from you. 800-821-9970. What did you live through? Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Mikhail.
Mikhail?
Yeah.
Hi, Mikhail. How old are you, Mikhail?
12.
Well, welcome to the show, man.
What'd you live through,
I want to
Mikhail?
know what you lived through.
Yeah.
It was like last year, but there was a tornado, and my mom says that while like tornado sirens go off, it's a good time to go for a walk. So we just all went outside and started walking around the neighborhood.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Your mom told you to go outside during a tornado?
Yeah.
How'd that turn out for you guys?
It was really peaceful, and this man said, you guys know that it's a tornado, that there's a tornado drill right now. So we all started dying.
Okay. That seems like an interesting piece of parental advice. When the tornado warnings go off,
go outside and play.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that you survived and there was no major issues, and I'm glad you lived through that. I hope you have a great day.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Now, I do remember, in order for us to be able to, not be afraid of thunderstorms, my dad would take us out on the porch during thunderstorms and sit with us. And we would count the seconds between the thunder and lightning, and he would try to make it into a game. But never have I been told to take a walk during a tornado warning.
Jason says he lived through the Great Flood in '96 in Scioto County. Was there a big, huge flood? Do you remember up there in '96? And school was out for
down
a
in
month.
Scioto County. Yeah, yes, I do.
Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Jeremy.
What did you live through, Jeremy?
I lived through a 10-year relationship with my ex-girlfriend.
Well done.
I have a feeling we're going to get a few of those. You came out, I wouldn't say you came out unscathed, but you came out alive on the other end.
Yes, I did.
All right, very good.
Smile on my face.
Well, have a great one, man.
Did his soul survive? That's the
His
question.
soul survived, right. Mailman John says, I lived through the blizzard in Fort Wayne, then Hurricane Ian in Inglewood, Florida. I do not want to be in a hurricane. I have no desire to live through a hurricane. That does not sound attractive. Thick, do you remember something that you lived through?
Yes, absolutely. June 17th, 1997, the Ozfest riot at Polaris Amphitheater. Dude, that was crazy. It was. Because this was a Black Sabbath reunion, this Ozfest tour. Like the all original band was back together to play. Pantera was there. Marilyn Manson was there. Typo Negative. And Manson went on right before Sabbath was supposed to play. And I think he knew because he did some crazy stuff on stage. He knocked over amplifiers. He ripped the whole drum kit off the drum. There's no coming back from that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they announce Ozzy is not here. And this place, dude, they tore up the entire lawn. They burnt cars. I mean, this place exploded. And I just got the hell out of there as fast as I could.
I absolutely would do the same
Well, and
thing.
Merrill just texted and said he got pepper sprayed during Ozfest.
Oh, is that right?
He said it was worth it.
It was nuts, man.
Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Hey, this is Jason.
Jason, what did you live through, man?
I was there at Alrosa when Dimebag got killed.
Oh, dude.
Dang, man.
Wow.
That is something.
That's a small group of people.
What is that?
When Dimebag got shot at Alrosa.
Dimebag. Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
He was
yeah.
over there.
Oh, that's not an
That
easy
gives me
one for
chills.
sure.
That is
Yeah.
awful. I'm sorry you had experienced that.
That is crazy to live through, for sure. Thanks for the call. Blitz, good morning. Who's this? Blitz, hello. Who's this?
Steve.
Steve, what did you live through, man?
Well, you guys gave me a flashback of the blizzard of '78. I had a paper route. And what do you know? I get that one phone call from that customer wanting to know where the paper was.
Oh, no way.
Come on.
It's not even running.
You're
if you need one that bad, go to the store.
Right.
Oh, man.
Hey, that'd be one of those times where I'm like, can you hear that? That's my middle finger through the phone. You hear that right there? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, let me get my skis out, and I got yesterday's paper if you're interested.
Right, yeah, exactly. 800-821-9970. If you've got one, 99-700. What did you live through? What did you live through? Jason says, back in either 06 or 07 when I was on the I-35 bridge in Minneapolis, which fell into the river, I went over the river driving my truck that morning while they were working on it. Oh, man, to look back on that news story.
Wow.
To know that you were just on that bridge not that long ago, that is insane. Ron, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I love the show, guys. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. What did you live through?
03, Metallica, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit were playing at the Shoe. My buddy who worked for a security company said they needed some extra bodies. I was like, I'll do it. Not only was I working Metallica's back dressing room door, but the manager was like, hey, when do you want to take a break? I was like, I'll go to Linkin Park. I'd love to see them. He comes up to me right when they go on stage. He's like, go ahead. I got a staff shirt on that says, staff member 420. I'm walking backstage, side stage. I just was chilling and enjoying the show. It was something else.
Woo, very nice.
I would want to live through that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
nice
a
to
good
live through.
thing to live through.
For sure.
Yes.
Thanks for the call. I totally forgot. I lived through the Nashville tornado in 2020. There was a massive tornado that ripped through Nashville, through parts of downtown and Germantown, and was woken up in the middle of the night for that one.
We got a bunch of people out in Bell Fountain that lived through the Indian Lake tornado a year ago.
That's insane.
Thought sure we'd hear from some of them.
Let's see. Who else we got here? Lori says, according to my mother, she was visiting a friend when I was 3 months old on campus at Kent State.
Oh.
No. When the 4 students were killed.
Wow.
On campus at the time.
When was that? 1970? Something like that?
Something like that.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Yes.
Let's see. What else we got?
Oh, somebody said they lived through the I-270 shooter. Do you remember that?
Oh,
that
yeah.
happened in the early 2000s, I think.
Was the guy who said that Howard Stern was telling him to do it in his
is
head.
that right? I forgot about that
I remember
part.
that story.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Kelly, you're right. May 4th, 1970.
Okay.
We can say, 800-821-9970. If you've got one, 99-700. Love to hear from you. It's 99.7 The Blitz.
And now, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
A long-standing Ohio State restaurant has closed permanently this week. Paulo's Greek Kitchen has been in the University District on North High Street for 50 years. Since 1975, it survived several developments and a relocation from one spot on High Street to another, right across from the Ohio Union. Apollo's has now been sold to a food truck business called Burger Royale. It will be their first brick and mortar and is expected to open soon.
Royale with cheese.
That's right. Since I crapped hard on Bruce Springsteen yesterday, I would like to let Bruce Springsteen fans know that June 27th is a day you have been anticipating forever. The release of scores of recordings thought to be stashed somewhere deep in Springsteen's vault. Pitchfork is reporting that the release, called Tracks 2, The Lost Albums, will be available at the end of June, which includes 74 songs never publicly heard and 8 others in versions not released. You can check out the Pitchfork article for all the details because I fell asleep in the middle of reading this boring story.
You are such a joy killer because I was so excited to break that story to you in about 30 seconds when you're done with your news.
No, and I broke it.
Let's hear from Bruce Springsteen.
I often read about myself in the 90s as having some lost period or something. And I really, I was working the whole time.
You love it, Kelly!
During the pandemic, what I did for that period of time was I finished everything I had in my vault. So this is Tracks 2. The Lost Albums are records that were full records, some of them even to the point of being mixed and not
look
released.
on your face.
For one reason or another, something I felt was missing from some of them, or they just didn't feel complete at the time.
Oh, listen to that jam.
Over a period of time, I built up a small collection of full albums that, for one reason or another, never got put out.
Kelly's like,
Come
I didn't
on,
need
Kelly.
out.
Come on, you got it. No? Nothing? Christmas gift?
I mean,
No.
there's a chance I might like something in the Lost collection because I don't like anything in the Found collection. Well, speaking of music, the title track of Metallica's Master of Puppets album has officially surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify. Metallica announced, quote, "We are psyched to share that Master of Puppets has just made its way onto Spotify's Billions Club. Thank you." They will get a beautiful plaque to honor the achievement because everyone knows Spotify doesn't pay. Billions Club is a playlist first launched in 2020, which includes songs on Spotify that have surpassed 1 billion streams. Master of Puppets joins other Metallica tracks in the Billions Club, including Nothing Else Matters and Enter Sandman. Also in the club, Dream On by Aerosmith, Last Resort by Papa Roach, Paradise City by Guns N' Roses, and Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. There are about 1,000 songs in the Billions Club.
Oh, that many?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize there were that many.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not, I mean, sounds like a good playlist, the songs you read
It
off.
does.
I would pop that in for
You
sure.
get some Whitney Houston in there if you like Whitney. I forget what else they said. I deleted.
I bet Ed Sheeran's in there.
Maybe.
Taylor's definitely in
Probably.
there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, about 1,000 songs. But anyway, congrats to Metallica for Master of Puppets being in the Billions Club. Those are your 3 things.
Did you ever see something online and people are kind of talking about it, laughing about it? Haha, that'd be funny. Little jokey joke.
Yeah.
But then the more people talk about it and think about it, they're like, oh, wait a minute. This might be true. We might have to do this. And this has now happened with Easter because I think it was actually the potato farmers that put out a little video on April Fool's Day saying, hey, get yourself a potato basket instead of an egg basket and decorate those potatoes and hide them around your yard so you can do an Easter potato hunt. And everyone laughed and joked. Good joke. And now people are pausing and going, wait a minute. The New York Times even wrote an article saying, yeah, eggs are pretty expensive. I don't know if you want to go wasting eggs on an Easter egg hunt.
The amount of money we spend on Christmas decorations and Halloween decorations and 4th of July and lights and everything, and you won't decorate eggs for $6 because they're too expensive.
Now, here's the deal. In 2023, the Potato USA marketing group did try and push using potatoes instead of eggs. Didn't really take off. But now, it looks like it's gaining a little traction. People saying there are videos out there on how to dye and paint your potatoes.
Okay.
And it's not so much of a joke anymore.
Easter potatoes.
Easter potatoes. Which, to me sounds like a delicious dish I would make for dinner. But I don't know if I want to go potato hunting in the backyard. and then do you
what's the difference?
Well, do you get the full-size russet potatoes, which would be pretty easy to find considering how big they are, or do you get like the little golden yellow potatoes?
Right.
Or even if you want to be even meaner, you get the little fingerling potatoes, and you're never going to find those bad boys.
I don't know. And then do we have to switch from a bunny to something else to deliver them? Should that be something different?
Well,
we're like a pig?
Yeah, but what do bunnies have to do with eggs? Bunnies don't lay eggs, right?
So we get the chickens to deliver
the potatoes.
Yeah.
You could do that. So if you want, save a little money, you can do your Easter potato hunt this year instead of your egg hunt. 99.7 The Blitz.
Now, let's see if we can learn you something. Sit up and pay attention.
There's a lot of times you can use the expression, there are two types of people in the world. And this is one of those times, because there are two types of people in the world. Ones that love the McRib sandwich from McDonald's and ones that loathe it. And people go nuts when it gets re-released.
What do they do?
But I'll tell you what, if you would just rather live in a world where the McRib is served all the time, move to Germany. It's the only country in the world where McDonald's serves the McRib all year long.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They do.
I am not a fan of the McRib. I remember I worked at McDonald's when the McRib came out, and they came in these just frozen blocks, and all you did was you stuck them in a vat of barbecue sauce, and it basically just sous vide the McRib until it was soft.
Wow.
And the barbecue sauce had this odor to it. And it was just it's too much for me.
Yeah, the best thing about the McRib is the onions.
Those thick long onions. Yeah.
But I liked it when I was young.
Did you?
Yeah, and then as I got older, I went, why did I like this?
What I used to do is I used to take like 4 of their regular hamburger patties and put it on the McRib bun because it was long. It was like a hoagie. Yeah, it was good. According to a study by MIT, actually, you know what? Hold on, real quick. I gotta write this down. Give me a second, because I want to see if you can do this. I should have done this earlier. Sorry. See if you can read my handwriting. This is supposed to be the toughest tongue twister in the world. And I want to see if you can pull it off, because I like a good tongue twister.
Well, your handwriting, it probably is.
All in a row, from top to bottom. See how fast you can read it.
Pad kid poured curd pulled cod. Pad kid poured curd pulled cod. Is there a message in there I'm not hearing?
I don't know. Pad kid poured curd pulled cod.
Pad kid poured curd pulled cod.
It doesn't seem like the toughest tongue twister.
No.
But that's according to a study by MIT.
All right.
That was trash. Okay, never mind.
Moving
along.
About MIT, doesn't it?
Yeah, right. There's a short man complex. We all know Napoleon Bonaparte. He was considered short, and they call it the Napoleon complex. But in all actuality, he wasn't super short. He was actually 5'6", which was average height at the time in France.
Oh, is that right? That was average?
Yep. It was just other officials and aristocrats and elite soldiers that he would meet from other parts of the world were taller.
Okay.
So, hence comes the Napoleon complex. Most people pass gas from 14 to 23 times every day. That seems like a lot. I don't know if I
Say
do.
again, how many?
14 to 23.
It doesn't seem like a lot.
Well, it seems like a lot to me.
Really?
I don't fart 17 times a day.
That you realize. Maybe you don't realize it.
Well, how do you not realize it?
I don't know.
It just coming. It's just you got Darth Vader in your pants.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you really think about it and count? I mean, I don't know.
I don't count, but I know. I'm like, oh, yeah, I farted a couple times a day, but not 17 times on average. Finally, the song Margaritaville. We all know Margaritaville. We've all sang along with Jimmy Buffett before, but we're singing along to Jimmy Buffett because Elvis Presley turned the song down. It was originally written for Elvis Presley.
No way.
But he was coming near the end there, and so Jimmy Buffett recorded the song, and that's what we get, Margaritaville.
Are you serious?
Not only that, but not only did we get the song, we got like a chain of restaurants out of it.
I mean, I can't believe he didn't write this song. I never even looked it up. I never questioned it. I mean, that's his world. That's his life. I just thought he was writing about real life.
Nope. Apparently it was originally written for Elvis Presley.
Yeah, and well, I suppose if they'd have done a different arrangement, but the way it is now does not fit Elvis
No,
at all.
not at all.
I don't, that wouldn't make any sense.
Not at all. There you go, learning you some stuff on a Friday morning, 99.7 The Blitz.